Individually saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Dunn, would you call the roll, please?
Chairman Kurtz,
Here.
Dr. Dimick,
Present.
Mr. Brzezowski, Mr. Norback, and Mr.
Present.
Mc.
Present.
And Ms. Dunn is here. We have a quorum. The minutes of the previous meeting, is there a motion to approve them?
I'll move. Go ahead, Tom.
I'll move to approve them with, Charles, you didn't send corrections?
We saw corrections.
We have.
I did. What happened though is at the last meeting, you approved my corrections, which I forgot to send, and you approved them anyway. For this time I sent corrections for both of them.
We're gonna have for this. All right, I move to approve the minutes as amended by Dr. Dimick.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously by those commission members present. Communications.
There are no communications.
Oh, my goodness. Inspection reports.
No written inspections. Staff inspection of the property on Coleman Road. The silt fence or the retaining wall is in place and functioning as required. And that's it for inspections.
Okay, enforcement actions. Go ahead.
Yes, the first enforcement action, this is just on the agenda for monitoring 720 Yalesville Road. A corrective order was issued by the commission, and there is a draft to revise the corrective order if the commission under unfinished business decides to approve the site plan for 720 Yalesville Road. The second part of it would also then be to approve the language for the for the revised corrective order. And that specifically addresses allowing the area immediately near the driveway, as well as the area for the septic system, to become basically usable area that is not subject to restoration planting. And then the second item, 152 Talmadge Road, this is on the agenda for monitoring, and I will be in touch with them before the next meeting and see where they are with getting a site plan or something together that the commission had requested to see before they come forward with a application for permit after the fact.
All right. Under unfinished business, we got a permit application of Heber Alvarenga, 720 Yalesville Road. We have a draft motion. What's your pleasure?
Dr. Dimick, was this where you wanted more information? Was this am I getting them confused about the septic system or the reserve area? Or am I getting
I think it is.
confused?
That's what I was asking for. Mhm.
Yeah, and I thought he was going to come back and talk to us about that.
Yeah.
So a plan was provided that was signed by Chespercott, and it's the same plan that the commission has seen previously. Mr. Judas is on the call right now.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Good evening.
Good evening. Just for the record, Stephen Judas with the office of Harry Cole & Son, located at 876 South Main Street in Plantsville, here tonight on behalf of Mr. Alvarenga's property at 720 Yalesville Road. We did revise the plan, the septic system. We moved the reserve area to the high side of the primary, which moved it further away from the wetland areas. I submitted that plan to Chespercott. They reviewed it and okayed it. I dropped a stamped copy of that plan off to Suzanne for her record and for review. And we also made some changes. We added inland wetland markers along the plan as directed by Suzanne, and added a detail to the plan for those wetland markers. So the wetlands and the buffer area will be clearly marked during construction, and then therefore, and from their point, I'm sorry, from that point forward, there will be a clearly identified wetland markers. So there shouldn't be any reason for any confusion as to where the wetland limits are and where the upland review areas are.
Suzanne, did you send that revised map out?
No, I apologize. I did not send that map out.
I would like to see that before I make any
Steve,
decision.
do you have a version of that, a digital version that you can put up on the screen if I can,
I can do my best to share that with you.
okay, let me just give you that ability. Let's see.
Dr. Dimick, was your concern that that it was close to the wetlands, the reserve system? If you could just refresh my memory on that?
Yeah, I had a couple of problems with it. One of which is that the primary system is in an area where they had to specially engineer it to make it fit because of the depth of groundwater. The reserve system would be even more of a problem there if they ever had to go to it. So I think I'm looking at this, and now they have moved the proposed reserve system further away from the wetlands. So I no longer have that particular concern if we use this with this reserve system in this place here. And the other is just too many things could go wrong.
Plus, it
And I
was
don't want
advised.
things where they could go wrong. Besides which, this also allows us this way to restore a little bit more of the damaged upland area that was in our original cease and desist by allowing the former proposed area for reserve system now to be revegetated as per our original request.
I'm assuming that everyone can see the plan on the screen at this
Yep.
point.
Yep.
I'm just,
Sure, if you can see, there are these squares that
Can you zoom
identified.
in a little bit, Steve?
Absolutely. Is that better?
That is, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. There are squares, if you look at the lower end of, I don't know if you can see my mouse here or
Yes,
not.
perfect.
Okay, so there's a square here, there's another one here. This is, and then it comes up here along the upland review area up to here. And then it goes back and follows the edge of the septic system around the property. So, and we have a detail, I'm gonna move my screen a little bit. And we can change this marker if there's something more specific that you have, but it's a 4x4 post. And it has a marker that actually calls out the limit of wetlands, even though some of them are on the upland review, we still call it the limit of wetlands just so we can keep people aware of the area that they're looking at. Did you get a good look at that? I know I moved it around kind of rather quickly, but.
And the reserve area is?
The reserve area runs up right along this area. If you see where I'm moving my
Yes.
mouse, the primary stays the same, which is just to the west of it, and the reserve area originally was on the low side. We moved that up to the high side and moved it further away from the wetland areas.
Much more comfortable with that than the original.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But
Now,
you
Steve,
had,
with-
among other things, you had no test pits in the proposed reserve area originally.
Yeah, that is better where we moved it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mhm.
Now, Steve, the septic system that's proposed, there should not be any vegetation growing on top of the septic system, correct? That's to be maintained as lawn?
Well, you can grass it, but you're not going to plant trees on it.
Right, and you're not
Yeah.
gonna plant the restoration shrubs, so this is proposed to just be lawn area.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say immediately over the system would be lawn area. I think that it would, 5 feet to the left or the right, we could plant shrubs with restoration without a problem. We don't want any trees. We don't want those roots to get into the system, but we have an envelope, about 5 feet on either side of the system that has the septic fill. And anywhere outside of that area would probably be fine.
These revisions to the map are part of the application, part of the approval.
Yes, sir.
I think we have two things to deal with. One, we have to go back and look at modifying the original restoration order to reflect this and also to allow a septic system to go in. And secondly, then we have a case of approving the plan for the house and septic system. There's two different approvals.
And Steve,
Suzanne will keep us straight, I hope.
I hope so too.
I would agree with that, yes.
And Steve, the date on the site plan is February 1st.
I believe so, yes. I know I was trying to get this to you. I have it January 28th.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to be able to make that change in the draft motion so that if the commission is entertaining the draft motion to approve the site plan, that the date is actually, the date on the site plan is January 28th, 2021.
Yes, that's the date.
Okay, thank you. And Dr. Dimick, then to your point about restoration, the way that the restoration language is listed now, it identifies that the septic area is to remain basically a lawn area where there's not a required planting plan. Is that something that you would like to amend?
You have
Charles,
your,
are you speaking? Because we can't hear you. You're muted.
you're muted.
I'm sorry, I
Okay.
automatically mute myself when I don't want to be a nuisance. I know, I mute myself all the time, right?
Yeah. Just disconnect.
No, I said the actual septic area pretty much needs to be kept as lawn for the continued health of the septic system. But everything outside that, I think he wants a 5-foot 5-foot envelope on both sides of the septic system to stay lawn. The rest of that can be restored with, at least with shrubs near there and not hurt the system. You don't want
Are you
full-grown
asking
trees.
Are you asking him to identify that on the plan? I mean, there's
We
so-
actually have, I'm sorry, we actually have an area outlined on the plan that shows the envelope. If you look, there's a box that goes out around the outside of the septic system. That's that 5-foot envelope that I was referring to. So maybe we
It's
could
gonna be
refer to
grass.
that envelope as the area that would remain grass.
Mhm.
But did you call, can you call it out on the as Charles is indicating that he wants it kept grass, and side of that can be other.
The only,
I understand you have it identified, but it
yeah,
didn't.
It's
Um,
not that I want it grass, it's that good practice, good engineering
I'm
practice.
just saying if
septic
that's-
practice would keep it grass, you see.
So are you
can-
asking to have it
Mhm.
described that way, or are we just counting the homeowner to do the right thing on down the road?
In the language for the revised corrective order, I have the change as stating, restoration is not required in the upland review area of the driveway and septic system envelope. Refer to approved site plan dated January 28th, 2021. Now, in this, I just identify upland review area, but it appears as though the envelope gets very close to the actual wetland boundary. So that may be something, language that gets changed to identify that the actual wetland area in the vicinity of the septic system does need to be part of the restoration plan.
I guess I wasn't in the impression that restoration was going to take place in the areas of the wetland that he cleared and in the upland review area. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
the systems in the upland review area, I think that I would continue with that the restoration would have to happen within any area of the wetland that was disturbed and the area of the upland review, with the exception of the driveway and
And the
the
envelope
septic
around the
system
septic.
envelope.
Mhm,
Yeah, and I can easily identify,
mhm.
if you want a revised plan, I don't know if the stipulation is appropriate, but I could easily call out or shade the area of the upland review and call that out. Or I could do the opposite. I could shade, it might be better to shade the area of the upland review that's going to be restored. I think that might be a better,
Yeah.
clear what area is going to be restored.
It should be identified. That's all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we can absolutely do that for you.
And also, the commission is not required to act on this restoration plan tonight. So if the
That's fine.
commission wanted to approve the site plan, the commission could do that, and then the commission could review any further information to come forward about this revised corrective order, such as the plan that Steve just referred to. So the commission is not required to act on this tonight, is my point.
Suzanne, did you say that the grass part that's going to be there is near the wetland? Does that require any, no mowing, any of that kind of language?
In the area of the septic system, in the corrective order, there's no language saying where grass is allowed. The corrective order is really about the restoration of where the plants will be restored, the time frame, the monitoring that then takes place. So there hasn't been previously strict language having to do with where lawn is allowed. And in the revised draft, I don't make mention of lawn. I just say areas that are not to be included in the restoration plan. But certainly, if the commission wants to add some clarity, we could identify where grass will be allowed. But I believe that they should also then maintain that area to prevent any woody plants from getting in there and taking over, so that they could actually use it as a lawn.
Okay.
We could definitely identify that for you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we want to act on the motion for the approval? Or do you want to wait on both of them?
I'm approve this and then reviewing the restoration plan later on. It, keeps the job moving.
So what we're talking about approval is approve the permit application rather than tonight, and wait till we put more trim on the restoration order, approve that the next time.
Right, is that a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve staff wording for site plan approval, referencing particularly the map which has been presented to us tonight.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, discussion. Remember, it's just the one site plan approval. We're not talking about the restoration at this point. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor of the application, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously by those commission members present. Do we need a motion to table the vote on the other draft, or just turn it
No,
over
that's
and go
not
to the next?
necessary.
It's not necessary.
Okay,
I should point
we'll
out,
hear more.
Earl, I have one of my pet peeves is using the word table. It has a very specific parliamentary use, and it's almost always misused by every member of the commissions in this town.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. The vast majority of people don't use it right. That's all. But I serve as a parliamentarian in 5 different groups, and it bugs me.
Okay, in that case, we'll just turn it over and talk about it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Postpone to the next meeting.
Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
All right. Next, we have the permit application of Ball and Socket on West Main Street. And we have a draft motion.
Move staff wording.
Second?
Moved and seconded by Ms. Dunn and Dr. Dimick. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Was that a nay or just a blip? Okay. Carried unanimously by those commission members present. And we have a permit application for Miller Napolitano Wolf LLC on Highland Avenue, and we have a draft motion for that.
I'll
What's your
move staff
pleasure?
wording.
Moved by Mr. McPhee,
I'll second it.
seconded by Mr. Norback. Is there any discussion? None. All in favor of approval of the application, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried unanimously by those commission members present. And now we have new business. Permit application of Tracy Romanek on South Meriden Road. I understand this is only to acknowledge we have it, or is there any,
Correct. This is just
Is
to
there-
acknowledge the date of receipt is today's meeting date. This will be discussed at the next meeting of February 16th.
okay. Next, we have the permit application for also receipt only from the Scalzo Family Trust on Rita Avenue.
Correct. And the date of receipt for this is today's date, February 2nd, 2021, and this will be discussed at the next meeting of February 16th.
All right, is there any other new business to come before the meeting?
No,
Can someone give us a update on getting a new member of the commission?
it's my understanding that a new member was appointed. That's through conversation with another commission member.
So
And
it's all hearsay at this point.
Oh, no,
I-
I was watching the town council meeting and he was approved. And I gave the name to Suzanne, but I don't remember the name now.
And so then what usually happens, or what needs to happen, is then that person gets sworn in the clerk's office. And then we get notified that now they are an official member of the Wetlands Commission. So I have not received any notification as of yet.
Well, by the way, did I get
Give me
reappointed?
goosebumps.
Excuse me?
Did I get reappointed?
I haven't seen any of that paperwork either.
You better be.
Has your term expired, Charles?
It depends on how you look at the count of it. It might have to.
I can look
Tom.
into that for you.
Tom, are you feeling okay? Because Charles is just serving you up left and right, and there's been no
I
comments.
know
on
it.
it.
I'm
Yeah,
letting him have
really.
it.
Yeah.
Throw him a bone.
I mean, he's like putting it on a platter for us right now. I mean,
I'm writing this down for the next in-person meetings.
okay.
Oh, yeah. When the two of you sit next to each other.
I do
But
miss it.
normally we don't.
No, I mean, Tom and Will.
Oh, those two, yes.
Yes.
We're getting a new guy or girl.
Yeah. No, Guy.
There's a guy.
Suzanne, do you have the name?
I don't know. I don't have the name.
Did I text it to you? I can't remember now.
I believe that you did. But if I find anything out, I'll communicate with members and
Okay.
let you know.
Are council meeting member minutes online yet?
Believe so.
That's how I found out. I went back and checked it out and I found it.
Mhm. Okay,
No worries.
Time to go eat.
So yeah, I'll get you that information
Okay.
when I hear it.
Oh, I have it. It's Tim Graver.
Oh, you did
GRAVER.
mention that before.
Okay.
That's at least.
Just
what-
so commission members know that this meeting is still live right now.
Yes, yes.
okay,
Okay.
just so we know.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
But it was a public town council.
yes,
meeting,
yes.
So not a surprise.
Okay.
All right. well,
Is
thank
is
you.
there any further discussion?
No.
And no further business to come before the meeting. We feel safe that Charles is going to be with us for a while longer. At least. We don't need a motion. And
God willing.
in that case, Should we table a discussion about Dr. Dimick?
Hey, Carol.
Nice
Well
job,
done. That was
Nicely
well
done.
done.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, unless we have anything else to say,
We are adjourned.
this meeting is over at 7:55.
All right, thanks, gang.
Wow.
Very good.
Everyone.
Thank
See you
you.
next time.